Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for clicking on my video. Today we're going to do something a little different, a little fun, because if you know me, Halloween is my favorite holiday, and the month of October is my favorite month of the year because you got Halloween coming up, you got haunted houses, you got football on, you got the fall is coming, which honestly I like the fall weather a little bit better because it's not too hot out, and everything around is just a perfect time of the year for me. So to celebrate this month of October, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 13 different horror franchises that I think you should binge watch during this month. If you are a casual movie fan or, even really into movies and you're just wondering what horror franchise should I watch this October in preparation for Halloween or around the Halloween season, go ahead, watch this video and get some ideas. You can pick one of these 13 or maybe this video will inspire you to pick another franchise. So here we are, we're going to get into it. And just a little rule of thumb that I gave myself, I figured that to call it a franchise, it has to be at least 3 movies. So some of my favorite franchises are movies you won't see here. For instance, like the Gremlins, I really love that series of movies. I wanted to include it, but as of now, it's only 2 films. So I decided, based off my little set of rules I gave myself, I could not include the Gremlins. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. I got a stack of movies here, some down here. There's 13 series in total, and we're gonna go ahead and start off with the first recommendation, and that is George Romero's Living Dead series. This movie kicks off with Night of the Living Dead and really has a great trilogy to start with Night, Dawn, and Day. It then gets into a second trilogy which includes The Land, which I think is the best of the second trilogy. And then you have Diary and you have Survival. I might have Diary and Survival mixed up. I cannot remember which one's 5, which one's 6, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. And this is one of my favorite franchises of all time because I'm a huge horror fan and my favorite subgenre of horror is zombie movies. So if you haven't checked these out yet, I highly recommend you check these out for your October watch of something scary, a good horror franchise. Next up, if you're not into zombies and you're looking for something a little scarier, something a little edgier, something that will truly frighten you, I think a good franchise to start with is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In my opinion, the first movie is the best made, scariest movie of all time. I think there's other movies that may be scarier or more upsetting, but to me, sometimes those movies, reach too much of the upsetting and they abstain from being a good movie at that point. This is actually a great film and it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my whole life. So I think this is a good franchise to get into. The franchise is a bit shaky. There's more bad films than good ones, but at least when you get started, you'll have some fun. Like I said, one of the scariest, and then the second one is actually a comedy. So it's a fun franchise to get into and really bounce around and hit all the different genres. Up next, I mentioned comedy. If you're not a true big horror fan, you don't love getting scared, and you want something funny to watch this Halloween season, this, in my opinion, is the best horror comedy franchise. We have Scary Movie. The first 3, in my eyes, are absolute classics. I don't know if it's because I'm a 2000s kid and I grew up with these, but I love these first 3 films. After that, 4 is okay. I think 5 is absolutely terrible, but we have 6 coming out next year, and honestly, it looks like it may be good. It's got the Wayne brothers coming back. It's got the original cast from the first 3 coming back, and I have high hopes and high expectations for that. So if you want to get into this franchise before Scary Movie 6 comes out next summer, go ahead and start with the first 5. Next up, kind of breaking my 3 movie rule a little bit because it's a part 1 and a part 2 for the second movie. Either way, it's 3 movies when you look at it and a TV show coming soon. And we have It. This is right here in my hand is the original 1990 miniseries, which I consider a movie. I have the DVD, and this is what I grew up with. I prefer it to the newer films, although I know most of you will prefer the newer ones. And I think this is a really fun franchise to get into this October, this Halloween season, especially since the Welcome to Derby TV show will be dropping during the month of October, so you can watch these movies and then get right into that series. It'll be a real fun watch for you guys. Alright, next up, if you're more into like the whole Blair Witch vibe, cameras, hidden cameras, found footage type films, while this may not be the best franchise, I think it's a good one to get into for Halloween season, and we have the Paranormal Activity franchise. This right here in my hand is a 6-movie collection. I know there's a 7th one out now, which I have not seen, but I heard it's actually one of the best, so go ahead and get into this collection. If you want, something cheap, you can pick up this one. If you want that 7th movie, there's a nice box set out there, but I know most of you are probably just going to stream the movies anyway, so Paranormal Activity, a good found footage series to get into this Halloween season. Next up, I was thinking about not including this because I didn't want to be, cliche, but it's Halloween time. I feel like I have to include it. So we have Halloween, the Michael Myers movies. In my opinion, it's one of the best franchises of all time. I do find it to be a bit overrated, and I'm sorry for saying that, but it's just because it's talked about so much. I think I'm just sick of hearing about it, but it's still great. The first movie is an all-time classic. I think the second one is a perfect sequel. The third one, where they go off the rails and don't even have Michael, that's one of my favorites. I truly do love this series. I know there's some duds there towards the middle end of this series, but it is a lot of fun, and it is a classic, and it's iconic. You have to include it in your Halloween watch list. Up next, we have a box set here. This is my prized possession in my collection, the Friday the 13th Scream Factory box set. You got all the movies from 1 to the remake here, and if I had to give you any franchise to watch this Halloween season, this is my #1 pick. I'm a Friday the 13th nut. It is my favorite horror franchise. Love Jason Voorhees, and I love the whole vibe of these movies, especially the first 8. If you don't want to watch all 12, I get it. It's a lot to get through, but the first 8, in my opinion, that first run of movies, is a lot of fun, and I do recommend you watch those at least once. Why not this month? Next up, I believe this is the newest series in my collection of films here. I think it is. We have the Terrifier series. Terrifier 1, 2, and 3, and then you could also throw in All Hallows Eve, the prequel that, was a bunch of short sections thrown together. Art is the main character, though, in that film. These are messed up films, but I think they're also a lot of fun. The first one is just mean-spirited. I don't think that one's fun, but 2 and 3 have a lot going for it. I think Sienna is a great final girl, and I'm really excited to see what they do with part 4. If you want to get into and watch these, viewer discretion advised, I must say. They are a bit gory, and they can take it too far for some viewers, but they can be a lot of fun, especially those second and third films when you follow the Sienna character. I think that is a lot of fun and a great final girl to follow along with. Alright, next up, I would say I have 3 favorite horror franchises. They're all here in this list, and the second one I'm going to talk about is the Scream series. I do recommend this. I probably watch Scream 1 and 2 every single year, and then I'll also, grab 3 or grab 5 and grab different ones here and then to rewatch sometimes. Scream 7 is coming out, I believe, next year, so if you haven't caught up on these films yet, go ahead and watch the Scream series this October. I recommend watching them all the way through. It is a very linear series, which is hard to find in a horror franchise, but this one does it well. Up next, this is a franchise that's very new to me. I went ahead and saw the latest film, which was the 6th film, in theaters this past summer. I absolutely loved it, so went ahead and picked up this 5-film collection from Amazon, went ahead and watched the first 5, and I think this is a great franchise. In my opinion, there's only one bad movie in the whole franchise, and that is Final Destination. If you haven't seen these, I highly recommend it. There is a little bit of a throughput story that kind of wraps around in certain films. It is fun to see. However, you really can just pick up anywhere with these and have a good time. If you haven't seen any of these, I recommend getting into this series this month. Next up, I was going to say this is the oldest franchise in my list, but I actually have one older I'm going to show off last. This is Psycho. This is the Alfred Hitchcock classic. And a lot of people say this is the movie that originated the slasher genre. I've got a few slashers here like Texas Chainsaw, Scream, and Friday the 13th. So if you want to see where they all started or, where they became perfection, I would say, go ahead and start off with the Psycho series. You may think there's only one in the series, but you are mistaken. There's actually Psycho 1, 2, 3, Psycho 4, the beginning, and then there's a Bates Motel movie and TV show. So go ahead and watch all of that. I haven't seen them all, but Psycho 1 and 2 are great. And the Bates Motel show, I watched the first 1 or 2 seasons. I can't really remember, but it's a fun time. I don't really remember why I stopped watching it. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good thing to get into. You'll have a lot of fun with this series. Alright, I told you my 3 favorite horror franchises were in this list. Here is number 3. We have Evil Dead. This is the DVD copy. I actually have a steelbook of this, but I didn't want to bring it downstairs because it is signed by Ash Williams, it is signed by Bruce Campbell, and I don't really feel like carrying it around all the time. But I keep this DVD for things like this. I think the first 3 films in this franchise that star Bruce Campbell are my favorites. I give all of them like a 4.5 out of 5 and up. I love these films. And then there's also 2 newer sequels, the remake Legacy sequel in 2013 and Evil Dead Rise that came out a few years back, which are also a lot of fun. I think of those 2, Evil Dead 2013 is my favorite, but all 5 films in this franchise are good. You can't really go wrong. And if you end up loving these, there's actually an Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show that's 3 seasons long. You can catch that as well. Alright, last but not least, this is a classic that I knew I had to include in this video, and I told you the oldest franchise I was going to show off is yet to come. Here it is. I couldn't pick from any one of these, so I just looped them all together into one big group. You don't have to watch all 30 of these films, so you might as well watch a couple of them. And this is the classic Universal Monsters films. This includes characters like Phantom of the Opera, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein, and Dracula. These are all a lot of fun films. My favorite of the bunch being the original Frankenstein and the original Invisible Man. You don't have to watch all 30. That is a big task. You only got 30 days this month. But if you want to watch like the Frankenstein series or just the original in each line of movies, go ahead and do that. You won't be disappointed. This is going to show you where horror started, at least in America. You know, you had movies in Italy and other places around the world before this, but I really feel like this is the origination, the start of horror in America. Alright everyone, that is my list of 13 horror movie franchises that you should watch this month. I feel like I threw in a little bit of everything for everyone. You got some comedy and scary movie. You got some all-time classics in Psycho and the Universal Monsters. You got some new fun ones in Terrifier and Evil Dead. So whatever you're feeling, go ahead and watch one of these franchises. Let me know in the comments below what you're gonna pick, or let me know if this video inspired you to watch something else. There's hundreds of horror franchises out there. I had like 25 in mind when I was doing this video, and I had to narrow it down because I wanted to pick 13. 13 feels like a scary movie number, like a Halloween movie number. That's what I landed on. But like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys are watching this month. I hope it's something fun, and I hope you're gonna love it. So thank you all. Have a great Halloween, and have a great day.